This is probably the hardest video I ever made in my life. But I'm going to make it because I'm so proud of my son and the progress that he's made. And also because I think there are other parents who need to hear this, and or need some type of encouragement about, the situation that their child might be going through. In particular, not just, but in particular, I know a lot of black parents because this can be a struggle for a lot of us to accept. Even not just black parents, but I know in particular, I know in my community, it's really a struggle for a lot of parents to accept. Um, so my son, his name is Malcolm, like my name. My son is autistic. Um, and man, even saying that on camera, it make me emotional. But I'm so proud of him. I'm so optimistic in ways that I grew to be. So my son was born 2020, the end of 2020. As you can imagine, me and his mom were in perfect bliss. We were excited, happy, all of the above, right? When he came into this world, we were excited, all of that. We were excited all the way through. So proud to see him, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then he started walking right after he turned 1 and all of those things. And we just like, oh my God, oh, this is crazy how life, how you see your children grow, right? I remember leading up to him turning 1. His mother had him counting on fingers. She'd say, 1, he go. 2, he do 2, 3, he be going, right? He was doing that with her, right? And so I'm just smiling because I'm like, wow, man, this boy is really doing his thing. This boy is really understanding what she's saying. So all of this, right? And so he was doing those things. He was attentive, all that. I want to say right after he turned 1, we started to see some regression in certain things that he was doing. Now, he started walking after he turned 1, but he wasn't doing a 1, 2, 3. It was certain things he was not doing. His mother taught him, give me a kiss. He'd give you a kiss on all the kids. Give his mom or me a kiss and all that type of stuff, right? And he just stopped doing it. And so you're like, maybe he's just interested in something else. Maybe he's not, maybe it's just something that doesn't interest him. But we did see, oh man, he stopped doing it. He stopped doing those activities. There are certain things that he was taught, right? As time starts to progress, we notice that he's really not giving us eye contact, right? He was giving it for a brief little moment and it'll just stop, right? I noticed that he would flail his hands a lot, right? Then we noticed that he wasn't talking. And so, when I saw, because I have a 12-year-old daughter, when I saw the milestones and things she was reaching and I was comparing it, I'm like, But I always had to keep in mind every child's journey is different, right? Every child doesn't learn or reach certain milestones at the same pace as other children. But it was certain things that I was just seeing in combination. He wasn't really giving eye contact, flailing his hands a lot. He was regressing. He wasn't remembering certain things he used to do leading up to him turning 1. Then I started to notice, well, not started to. I remember this is like right after this is when he was, and then we started noticing these little things. Then when he's turning 2, because I have no small itty bitty children in my family for him to interact with, right? And so at the time he was not in daycare or anything like that. He was at home with me while I was working because I work from home. And so I want to say on his 2nd birthday, I saw him interacting with, I had one of my best friends. He has a daughter that's a month older than my son. And it was, my son would not really play with her. He would just, get a toy and be in his own little world and just fiddle with things and so on and so forth. But he really wasn't, he wouldn't interact with her and play with her like, as children would normally play with her. He would be like more of a loner and to himself, right? And then when he went to daycare, eventually when he turned 2, he was hearing the same things. He seemed to really just be to himself playing. not really interacting with other kids unless he's trying to get a toy from a kid or a kid trying to get a toy from him or he sees something that he likes. But other than that, no. Right? And we started to really think that, hey, could something be going on with Malcolm? Right? And because he still wasn't talking. He might say, mama, dad, but nothing, wasn't talking. He wasn't, it was certain things that he still, eye contact wasn't really there. He wasn't really responding to his name that much. Like I had to, if I said it with sternness, he would, but he really wasn't really responding to his name that much. He would do it I would say every so often he would do it, but not really super consistent, right? And he was 2 at the time. He's still two, but he had just made 2. And so I remember me and his mother having a conversation about it. And we both just started getting really emotional. And then it got to a point where blame started to come in. In particular, she blamed herself for certain things. I blamed myself for certain things. In particular, like I said, I work from home. And so I was having, I work a job that's strenuous, right? I don't work a cookie cutter job. And originally, I really had nobody to really watch my son for real. I really didn't. A majority of everybody in my family works. So nobody could really keep him. And I had nobody to babysit my son. And then daycare, me and his mom both did not want him going to daycare. He was really small at the time when he was in the months, coming up to being 1. We didn't really trust nobody to daycare with him. And then daycare is extremely expensive. So I trust him in my care. His mother trust him in my care more than people that random strangers we don't know. And it's cost effective, like being at home with me rather than paying an arm and 2 legs for child care, because child care is extremely expensive, right? And so I'm doing this strenuous job. They need stuff done immediately. My son he was in the months. He couldn't do nothing for himself at that time, right? So couldn't even walk around and play at the time. He was in the months. I had to keep him calm and chill. I turned on TV a lot just to keep him at bay so I can finish things and get certain things done, right? And so I was like, man, did I give him too much screen time? Is he not learning certain things? Is he not talking because he's just been in front of the TV too much? Is that affecting, his development rather, right? And I'm like, yo, we were going through the period of just blaming ourselves, me blaming myself, her blaming herself, all of those things. And then me and his mom had emotional conversations. And again, I'm getting a little, choked up just talking about it. So we like, okay, he was going for his doctor checkup. We say, okay, we have to be honest, about what's going on with him. We had to tell the truth because it hurts that, we feel like our son is going through something and he's not developing in ways maybe, in the ways another child may develop. But we have to be honest about what he's experiencing. We go to the doctor. I never forget this. Go to the doctor, me, his mom, and my mother. We're at the doctor. And, we checking off this little box of like, if he's doing this and he's doing that. And it was a lot of things he was not doing that they were expecting him to possibly be doing by the time he had turned 2. And I remember me just in there just crying, right? Because it hurt to even and then you start thinking if there was things you could have done differently, But it was just like, man, I started crying in there. His mom got teary-eyed and my mom is keeping us upright and keeping us positive and optimistic. Like, we're going to get him whatever help he needs to get, whatever. And after I let that cry out and I left the doctor, it was like me and his mom had a conversation. We're like, we're going to do whatever we got to do for our son in order for him to improve, in order for him to develop. This is not a curse. This is not like life-threatening. This is not, this is Malcolm's life he will not have a life. No. It's not that. And I'm doing a lot of and stuff like that, but yeah, I'm trying to just recollect everything. After that, we left the doctor. His mother, man, his mom. I'm really blessed that his mother is proactive as she is. After we had going to the doctor, having these discussions, we had to go through the period of acceptance. Okay? Because it's hard for some people to accept that something is going on with your child. Like I said, in the Black community in particular, kids will go for years and years not getting the help that they need because the parents don't really, you struggle with accepting that something may be wrong, right? Because nobody wants anything to be wrong with their child. When my child was first born, me and his mother had different plans for him as far as like, what we thought was going to happen, how do we think things were going to go. We had different plans. And so to see, something was going on, we're like, wow, it was emotional, man. We were hurting that our boy was going through something. But his mother got on it immediately. She started looking up for these services, got him into early intervention. He's been in therapy since November of last year. And y'all, them therapies, from having them, and it's a slow uphill battle. It's never fast. It's never instant. He has to get used to the therapists that come to see him. He's in therapy 3 times a week. Okay? They come in home. Well, the speech was coming in home at first, and then it switched because the speech lady left recently. We had to get a new speech person or whatever. But the speech was in home as well. Speech therapy, developmental therapy, OT, all of those things, right? For the motor skills and all of that. Because at first, it was even my son, and he didn't want to go up no stairs or nothing. He was running around, jumping in the bed, playing, and all that. But there was certain things he didn't want to do. He didn't like going up no stairs. And he would have a fit having to do that, right? And I don't know if that was just autism or just him just not wanting to just do that, right? Was reluctant to get out of the bed like that, you know what I mean? And all those type of things. Now, he's climbing upstairs. He's, running and getting in and out of the bed, all of that type of stuff. Even when he was playing, he would only want to take things apart, never put them together. Now he's starting to put things together, put things on top of things. So, he's made so many improvements, y'all. Like, I'm so happy and so excited. Like, again, the therapies brought optimism more than anything because you see your child going through these therapies. It's a slow uphill battle, but slowly but surely he's making improvements. His eye contact is much better, right? He's listening more when you calling his name, right? Now, sometimes he's just being stubborn. He want to just do what he want to do and watch TV or whatever. But he knows his name. Responding to his name a lot more. Again, eye contact is better. Even sitting down with him, getting him to sit down and do certain things, do certain tasks is better. First, he didn't like overhand things at all. Now you can do hand over hand with a lot of different things. He's like, he liked playing the Connect 4. He don't know what he's doing. He just like dropping them in the thing and stuff. But at first, he wouldn't want to do anything like that. The other day in speech therapy, man, like again, he's still babbling. He's not really talking for real. He's babbling a lot, just babbling. He's stimming, saying little stuff, making little sounds. But he's doing a lot of babbling, trying to talk. The other day we were in speech therapy, and the lady has this little ladybug, and you can put these little things in the ladybug's back. And the little things you put in the ladybug's back, they're different colors, right? So the developmental therapist, she pulls out the little ladybug toy, and then she has the little things that you put in her back. And again, they're different colors. Malcolm, without prompting, he picks up one that's red. He said, red. Picks the one that's yellow. Picks one up, pink, green, blue. Me and his mother could have cried tears of joy. Could have jumped to the roof. Because I'm like, nobody prompted him to say this. He did this on his own, and we hadn't really gone over colors in about a week. Or maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Right? But, you know, I have him watching the Miss Rachel a lot. You know, his mother is like, I'm for real. I want to say this, man. His mom, with him having this, you know, getting his, because he got officially diagnosed with autism some months ago, right? Officially, but we knew something was, we knew there was possibly what he was dealing with. But during our son's, you know, his journey, not battle, his journey with autism, it's caused his mother to be more like, she's into it. She's super into it. She's super into teaching him creative ways how to learn certain things. She got a learning center made for him. All of these things. Like, she's really into trying to get him going and really into developing certain things and setting aside certain time to get him to do certain things, right? Like, for real, he eats great with me, right? He loves me. You know, his mom calls him my bestie because he always runs when he see me and stuff like that, right? But he learned so great with his mom. She taught him a lot of the stuff he know. How to give high fives. She was teaching him how to say up and down when he goes down, up and down his slide that he has, right? She was teaching him how to, what else? She was teaching him certain other words, getting him to repeat little phrases that he hears on Miss Rachel. What's that phrase he was saying? Golly. Bubble, 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 pop. Right? It's a song Miss Rachel says. And I recommend Miss Rachel to anybody who has a child and they trying to get them to develop and speak and, you know, learn and so on and so forth. She's so great at getting kids to develop even when they have speech delays, so on and so forth, right? And so, like, man, seeing him say them colors without being prompted, and, you know, again, he's still really babbling a lot. He's trying to talk, but he's not talking like it's super fluent, not fluent. He's not talking fluent. But to see him do that, y'all, man, we like, yo, this is working. And our son, he gonna be okay. He gonna be okay. With a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of due diligence on me and his mom's end, he gonna get to where he gotta go. You know, and sitting through these therapy sessions, y'all, it's been eye-opening. Like, just watching my son do certain things, like sitting down and interacting. First, boy, you couldn't take nothing from him without him snapping. You know, and he has bouts of aggression because of it, right? Aggression, you take stuff from him. Getting him to be chill, relaxed, you know, and just chilling and going through these little services and all of that. We be like, oh, look at him, man. He's interacting well, all of that, man. And I'm so proud of him, y'all. Me and his mom both. His mother is extremely proud. You know, his mom will tell you she cries a lot. So, man, after that day when he did that, she was crying. But it was all tears of joy because we were just so happy, man. Because we didn't really know what we were really getting into as far as like the journey with autism. We didn't know what it would really look like. We still learning what it looked like. You know, we not 100% certain what it's going to look like for the rest of his life. But we know he's going to be fine. We're optimistic, super optimistic because of the development that he's had since getting into therapy. And what I want to say to a lot of parents, when you see a child that's going through something, don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. It's a lot of people who are going through this that you just don't know it. Don't be afraid to get your child help. Right after he turned 2, my son started the services the month after he turned 2. Okay? And he started early intervention. He's been in it for, nearly a year now. Nearly a year. And the progress he's made, y'all, has been so profound, so special. I can't even really put it into words. But it really was us having to accept what was going on and put him in a therapy early and not wait until he's 4 and 5 trying to get him some type of help. And again, even if your child is 4 and 5, I'm not faulting anybody. No, but, you know, if he is, if you feel like he or she is needing help, get them that help. Because it's going to make a difference in the long run. And so I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to get him to where he needs to be. His mother is more than willing to do whatever she got to do to get him where he needs to be. Like I say, I fall on the sword for my kids. His mother fall on the sword for him. You hear me? Like for real. Like, you know, and shoot, she fought on the sword for my daughter that I had before I even knew her. You know, but I'm gonna say, like, for real, man, like the way his mom, boy, she get him to do all type of different stuff. And he come over here and she showing me what, you know what I'm saying, like it's just like, yo, this is crazy. When he come to me, right? Me, him, and his mom, we be sitting, and he come to me, and she's like, look, he doing this. Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing. Like, it's like, wow, right? And so I want to encourage people, man, that even if you're going through, if you feel like, you know, if your child is dealing with autism, everything gonna be all right. Everything gonna be all good. Like I said, man, me and his mom is like, yo, we marvel at it. We sit through his therapy sessions with him because, again, he got 3 therapies a week. They come in home, right? And so we sitting through his therapy sessions with him. We like, wow. Like, it is like the progress he's made is just so, is outstanding. Outstanding. So parents, man, get your children the help if they need to get help. Don't wait. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. And again, that acceptance part is hard. It was hard for us to accept that something was going on with our son. But at the end of the day, I had to set aside how I felt. His mom had to set aside how she felt about it. And had to just go and get our boy the help he needs. Pretty soon he'll be going to a school that gets those therapy services all week, right? And I'm just, man, I'm excited for my son's journey. I'm excited for more progress that he'll make and more milestones he'll reach. But yeah, man, it's been a beautiful ride watching my boy grow and do a lot of different things he was not doing before. And yeah, man, it's still battle. It's still an uphill battle. My son doesn't like a whole lot of loud talking and being all around this big whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of noise all around. He still gets flustered and frustrated with it. But he'll grow. He'll be able to get through that. He'll be able to, you know, go through those things as we get him out more, and he'll be able to keep growing and growing and growing and reaching certain milestones and get through that. So all hope is not lost. Autistic children